This week on The Siren, Titan's Grave, the tabletop RPG from Geek and Sundry is almost here. A third campaign for D&D 5 from Wizards of the Coast, more Star Wars goodness from Fantasy Flight Games, a really interesting new RPG setting on Bronze Age Earth, and then I'm off on a big plane. Titan's Grave is a new YouTube channel and RPG from Wil Wheaton of Geek and Sundry fame, and is based on the soon-to-be-released Fantasy AGE rule set from Green Ronin Publishing. We don't know much about the Titan's Grave setting yet, other than that it is a mix of sci-fi and magic, which we love at the Dice Stormers, and has been created by Wil Wheaton. There's a few art snippets on the internet and they look great. Will says his motivation is to show RPG playing is more about story creation and epic role-playing and less about dice rolling and table lookups. We totally agree. Will has said in a blog post that they will produce episode 0 shortly, which will show character creation and be an introduction to the rule set. And then episode 1 will be actual play, and we'll get a new episode every week for 10 weeks. The adventure they are playing will be released as well, so people can play along at home. Head over to the link below for more information as it comes to light, and we'll certainly be keeping you up to date on this project as time goes on. The first episode is due to be released on June 2nd, so mark your calendars. Wizards of the Coast have launched 2 great campaigns so far, Tyranny of Dragons and Elemental Evil, but they've just announced the 3rd campaign for this 5th edition of D&D. It's called Out of the Abyss. Launching into an underworld of demons, drow, and the Underdark, this new adventure will team PCs up with Drizzt Do'Urden to take on the demon lord Demigorgon and stop an invasion of the entire world. All that kind of stuff. The books are up for pre-order now, and the release date is set for the 15th of September. Interestingly, Wizards says this adventure will be available to all types of players, on console, PC, or rolling with friends. The campaign book will be available for pen and paper RPGers, and there will be a Legends of the Sword Coast game for PC, showcasing other aspects of the battle. And finally, there will be an expansion for Neverwinter called Neverwinter Underdark, available on consoles. This is a very interesting strategy, and I'll be interested to see how it plays out. Is the plan that more people will be drawn into pen and paper RPGs when they see they can experience a different aspect of something they've already done on PC or console? Unlikely, I would have thought. Perhaps it'll work the other way around. What's clear is that we are seeing Wizards of the Coast continuing to look at the big picture and leveraging their brand. Sound off in the comments if you think this is a good idea or a deal with the devil. We'd also be really keen to hear your thoughts about the inclusion of Drizzt Do'Urden. Is he really necessary to help sell this adventure? Or is he just totally cool no matter what? Let us know your thoughts below in the Underdark. For those of you who are looking to stay hyped about the upcoming Star Wars movie, you'll be pleased to know that Fantasy Flight Games has made their new Force and Destiny beginner game available for pre-order. This box set continues Fantasy Flight's release method of providing gamers who are new to their Star Wars system a way of having everything they need to play the game in one box set. Force and Destiny comes with its unique dice, simplified rules, pre-gen characters, and a ready-to-play adventure. It even gives you the maps and the cardboard pips. This is the 3rd in this series for this Star Wars RPG. It all started with Edge of the Empire, detailing those who live on the Outer Rim and do their best to avoid Imperial entanglements. The 2nd rulebook took us right into the heart of the rebellion, showing us just why all those Bothams were dying to bring us all that information. But until now, use of the Force was mostly an enigma, and really only given lip service in the rules. Force and Destiny unveils this mystery, and lets us start using our lightsabers as true Jedi, and not just using them to open tauntauns to store our friends in when the temperature drops. In fact, there are 2 characters in this beginner box set that start with these ancient weapons from a more civilized age. The Dice Stormers have been itching to start using Jedi in our adventures, and there's been many discussions, arguments, fights over whether these rules will be able to balance the Jedi with the non-Jedi in the same group. It's certainly been something that previous RPG companies have struggled with, so we are eager to see if Fantasy Flight Games can achieve a level playing field. The full rules for Force and Destiny are due out soon, so I'd encourage you to pre-order the beginner box set if you're new to this system, as they are an excellent way to get your head around, for example, the really weird dice system, which uses icons on the faces rather than numbers. Check out the links below for more details on Force and Destiny, and also to see the Dice Stormers actually playing with this system. So, we've all played in many different fantasy settings, such as the high fantasy of D&D, the low fantasy of A Song of Ice and Fire, dark fantasy settings like that of Warhammer, and the most epic fantasy setting of Shantar. But get this, Crestfallen takes the fantasy timeline way back to when humans first discovered and used metals, lived nomadically, and hunted the wilds, only barely surviving from one day to another. Crestfallen takes us to a Bronze Age, where there is magic, gods speak to mortals, and the whole environment is out to kill you. But the only armour you can hope for is not the leather or chainmail we are familiar with, but the fur or skin of that animal you ran down just yesterday, if you're lucky. The writer, Dan Hiskett, has spent some 15 years researching and collecting historical data till he feels he's been really able to simulate Bronze Age life, and claims to have implemented the setting as historically accurately as possible. Like other new RPG settings we've mentioned before on this show, this one runs on the Fate Core engine. The narrative power of the Fate Core and the flavoursome tang of historical accuracy may indeed bring a unique feel to this game, especially when combined with the magic we all love in our fantasy games. This is definitely, with a capital D, a nice RPG to consider kickstarting. Check it out in the links below. And finally, almost straight after we finish editing this episode of The Siren, I'm off on a big plane over the wide Pacific to PaizoCon 2015. Yay! PaizoCon is bigger and better this year. A larger hotel, an extra day, amazing special guests like, can you believe it? Me. I'll be there showing off Syrinscape and getting fans inside my app by recording their impressions of some of the most classic fantasy monsters in the book. Most excitingly, the gibbering mouth of this time. That should be lots of fun to record. Anyway, we'll see what people do. I'll also be DJing the Big Pathfinder Special again this year, where hundreds of players participate in a big mashed up game, where every achievement on every table affects the ultimate outcome of the evening. These specials are a hoot. After PaizoCon, I'll be heading across the Atlantic to UK Games Expo for pretty much all the same sort of stuff, but with an English accent, cobber. If you've never been to a gaming convention before, then you're really missing out on one of the best parts of the hobby. The community spirit, the fun, the gaming, the knowing there'll always be someone interested in talking about your character build, the endless sharing of classic gaming moments, the staying inside for 25 hours a day, the not really sleeping much at all, and best of all, catching con crud and not being able to go back to work for a week. All this awaits you. If you are going to be at PaizoCon or UK Games Expo, then definitely make sure you drop by the Syrinscape stand and shake my hand or give me a Vulcan salute or whatever. There will be lots of fun stuff to do there, and freebies too, of course. I look forward to seeing you, and if you can't make it to one of these cons, what about Gen Con or PAX Oz later in the year? Come on, you know it's tempting. Well, that's all for this edition of The Siren. Thanks once again to Abhishek for a great article. Don't forget you can email us at thesiren@gmail.com too when you have something newsworthy. Please do share this video now with gamers everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the Dice Stormers channel and check out the dozens of really fantastic actual play videos there. See you next time, and until then, may all your rolls be Medichlorian enhanced.